These guys are ridiculous. These guys are ridiculous.
Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back with another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording on Wednesday, October 25th. An hour or so after the Celtics took down the Knicks on opening night. Let's just dive right into that because I'm excited about basketball.
We're back.
I want to talk about it. Celtics beat the Knicks, by a score of 108-104. They blew them out in the first half / first quarter. Knicks slowly trailed back into the game with a barrage of threes and offensive rebounds. But in the end, a pair of 30-point games by Tatum and Kristaps Porzingis helped the Celtics win the game and defeat the Knicks, who got big-time showings from Emmanuel Quickley, RJ Barrett, and a couple guys who made a bunch of threes. We'll just start with that. First reactions to the game, Sam. I know you were frustrated at points in our text chain.
I was none too pleased. I was watching this game and I said, oh, wow, look, the Celtics are still the Celtics. They hate being up double digits. They can't rebound for shit. One thing is they were kind of unlucky with all the threes that went down for the Knicks.
The Knicks were making everything.
I was really annoyed with the sloppiness, and we're going to talk about all of it really more in depth, I suppose. But just the up 12, up 9, now it's down to 5. Like, you could tell that they were begging to lose this game. I said it on Twitter. I think I said that. And it was so unbelievably frustrating to watch them try their absolute hardest to lose the opener to the Knicks. And luckily they just didn't do it. And they finished it off actually decently. Like, they did a pretty decent job in crunch time. That's when they won this game, which is good. That's improvement. But my God, I mean, get a rebound. What are we watching? You tweeted it. The 2023 playoffs. Are we watching that again?
See, my thing with the rebounding is it's a two-handed or two-sided coin, right? Mm-hmm. On the one hand, the Knicks are just a great offensive rebounding team. That's literally how they beat the Cavaliers in the playoffs last year.
Mitchell Robinson and Hartenstein in particular they're aggressive.
Crazy. They're great. They're awesome. And it's like, we'll get into it later. I have an annoyance tier list of the Knicks players because I think it'd be fun.
I like that.
But the annoyance is complimentary because, I mean, if Hartenstein was doing that for the Celtics, you'd be like, fuck yeah. Like he's awesome. Right?
Hartenstein, by the way, who gets a sleeve and then is all of a sudden a tough guy.
Yeah,
until he gets hit by Porzingis, then he's not.
And he falls. No, but on the other hand, the Celtics just weren't getting enough, and I see people quick to jump Horford and Cornette and Porzingis, but the way the Celtics play defense in a drop defense is those guys are contesting at the rim, and if they're contesting the shot at the rim, they can't get the rebound because then they're automatically going to get boxed out by whichever Knicks player is in the paint. So it's really got to be more on Tatum and Brown and the guards to get those. Tatum had 11 rebounds himself. Derek White had 6. Horford had 7 off the bench. Porzingis had 8. Jaylen Brown had 6. So like they were moving it around a decent amount. And the other aspect of it is on missed threes, it's so hard to predict where the rebound's going to go, right? And so some of those just Hartenstein getting his hand in there enough to force give the Knicks an extra possession. So it's tough. And I do think this isn't to say it's not a problem. I mean, the Knicks had 17 offensive rebounds. That's you can't have that. But I do think there's more that goes into it than try harder in this case, at least.
Try harder. You knew it was coming.
I know.
No, I think you have a point. It's the matchup. It's the size. Unlucky bounces. There was a lot of pinball moments where it just didn't go their way tonight. There were moments where I thought the Celtics really looked like they were putting in the effort, getting on the floor, and the ball would just squeak out and end up in Josh Hart's hands or Grimes or any of the guys, really. I'll tell you what is Julius Randle sucks. He was terrible. This is really Sam Parade.
He made a couple annoying threes, though. We'll give him that.
They made every annoying three tonight. And I mean, of course, in the second half, it was much worse because they almost did not miss. Like, they were unconscious. But Julius Randle, 5 of 22. 0 turnovers. Can you believe that? I can't. I would have told you he turned it over 3 or 4 times.
It didn't feel like he had the ball in his hands for long enough to get it.
Probably good for them.
Yeah.
But it was
I mean, the
so
Knicks
funny. Like this
only had
this
9.
game started right after we were on the pregame, and I was talking about how bad this guy is. Like we were doing what's his career high in turnovers, which I nailed. And
Yeah.
he comes out, fumbles around, looks terrible, misses a couple shots, misses 2 free throws, goes up to dunk the ball and just throws it off the backboard.
Team worst -13.
Yeah,
That's
he's just
cracks.
not a winning player, and I feel bad for Knicks fans that he is like a focal point of their team. Because
Yeah, I
you
mean,
said you
he
were
took
on
the
the
most
Knicks
shots.
podcast, and they were like, "We don't like him."
Yeah, they were like, Sam might not be as opposed to Knicks fans as he might think because they have similar thoughts about Julius Randle.
Well, I know that fat fuck, not the guy in the podcast, but all respect to him. The guy, the Bing Bong guy, he's a
Oh
bum.
yeah, Bing Bong guy.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
I hope he's miserable tonight.
No, the offensive rebounding thing. Also, before we go away from the offensive rebounding, the reason that Porzingis
Grant just
tech,
traveled.
shocker, we've got Mavs Spurs
Yeah.
on our side screens. If
He
you're
pump
wondering.
faked,
Yeah,
traveled, and then shot the 3, and it went in. But he
but they
traveled.
called the trouble. The Hartenstein Porzingis thing. Mitchell Robinson and Isaiah Hartenstein were so physical all night. They
Mhm.
probably fouled the Celtics a lot more than they got called for. And this isn't a complaint at like, oh, the Celtics didn't get the whistle. Good. Like, that's how basketball should be. You should fight for the offensive rebound. You should scrap down there, and it's fine. But what was Porzingis supposed to do when Hartenstein gave him a hug on the paint?
Hug him back.
And the whistle wasn't called right away. Like, they eventually got the foul, but by the time they called the foul, like, Porzingis was like trying to get away from the guy smacking at him. What do you expect him to do?
It's true.
Yeah, Sam's laughing as Grant Williams missed another 3. Is that why you're
Oh,
laughing?
I actually was not laughing at that. I saw something on my Twitter timeline. I thought it was pretty funny. It's just funny watching Grant play for another team. I mean, he did make one while we were on this call, but he doesn't look that comfortable playing with Dallas.
We're getting distracted while we're talking Celtics, but
this Spurs team 65 first half points, not bad.
We'll get into the NBA later.
Yeah,
Kristaps Porzingis tech was bad. I thought it was stupid. The flopping tech. My thing on the flopping techs, and I wrote this in the sheet, in on the concept of flopping techs, out on the execution of flopping techs. I like the idea I like the idea that players should be punished for the flops in those cases. The Porzingis one, so there were 2 in this game, was Porzingis and Brunson. I like that they called the Brunson one with an advantage for the Celtics, so they let the Celtics play first and then call it back. But my 2 things, the Porzingis one, he got called for the same foul. Like Dante DiVincenzo face guard blocked him out, and then he got called for a flop. He got called for a face guard box out like 2 possessions earlier. So at least be consistent in that sense and don't call Porzingis for like falling down when you just called him for the same foul that was committed against him. He did. He did that to Porzingis like 2 possessions prior, and they called it. And then the Brunson thing, I like the concept. I know you're big on don't fall down. He did land on dude's foot. Like he did land on Tatum's foot.
I was rock hard when they
I know you were
flopping
like,
for on the jump shot going down. I was like,
you gotta be.
That's why we play.
You got to be sure though, because he did land on his foot. I'm not saying it should have been a tech or something, but like, there's got to be a balance there because Brunson shouldn't get punished for landing on a guy's foot, but Tatum shouldn't get punished for having his foot 2 feet inside the 3-point line. You know what I'm saying? So I like the idea of the flop tech, but it needs to be policed better, I think.
Well, yeah, it's day 2.
It's true.
It's day 2. I'm sure they'll get better at it. I didn't really hate the execution of it too much. I, like you said, was impressed that they played the advantage with the Celtics one that benefited them. And I thought the Porzingis one was a bit unfair because it looked like he did actually get shoved. Like it looked like the arms went out. But at the same time, like Porzingis is a foot taller than DiVincenzo. Like you shouldn't get bodied like that. Like that's just not.
He is 100 pounds though. He is like probably less weight than DiVincenzo. So
it's probably fair, but still, like you just shouldn't get bodied like that. It's not natural. I mean, it didn't. Of all the ref things, if you want to complain about the officials, and I don't think the officials were bad one way or the other.
Okay.
And I'm not on here being like the Celtics should have won by 15 if the refs weren't bad. No, what I'm saying is the refs had a terrible job when it came to just letting the game flow. It was a lot of like
both
interruptions, monitor. Is this a flagrant? Is it not? Like not Porzingis, the Hartenstein hard foul on Jaylen Brown was exactly that, and that's what they found. It wasn't malicious. He just like wrapped him up, and then they kind of like fell down. and it was a big issue. It stopped play for 2.5, 3 minutes. It's like, that doesn't need to happen. You don't need to do that. But the flopping stuff didn't bother me too much. I just kind of forgot it existed. So when they teched up Porzingis, I was so confused. Yeah. I was like, what did he do? Did he say something? I didn't know he had this kind of flair about him. I thought he was a little bit, oh my God. It was a little bit more, just thought he was more calm.
Speaking of Porzingis, though, oh baby, he was fucking nasty.
Listen, the MVP take might not be like the craziest thing I've ever said.
Kristaps Porzingis, 30 points, 8 rebounds, 4 blocks, 8 of 15 from the field, 5 of 9 from 3, 9 of 10 from the free throw line.
Menace.
He was so fucking good. Not only, and the best part is, like, usually when we talk about this, it's like, oh, he was really good on offense. He was
good everywhere
on defense too. Like, I tweeted this out, and I want to ask Joe about it tomorrow if no one has them tonight. I wonder how much Charles Lee has had an impact on this team in the sense that Porzingis can just be in the paint and do this, hands up, and no one can do anything. The Knicks were lost.
True.
The Knicks, what did the Knicks shoot on twos in this game? I need to see.
I'm going to look right now at the shot charts. So the paint, if you look at the Knicks, a lot of X's in the paint. A lot of them.
Yeah.
They did not shoot well, fare well inside. Porzingis was a tree. Shout out to Ray, who we play basketball with. Ray used to coach the youths. And one thing he would teach them is to be a tree inside. Just stand there, your hands up, be as big as you can.
32% on twos. 32% on twos.
Nuts.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. The Celtics defense was awesome, and Porzingis was a huge part of it. 4 blocks in his debut. That's unheard of. The team itself had a monster night sending shots back too. Derek White had 1 or 2 as well. Drew Holiday blocked jump
11
shot.
blocks.
A lot of blocks.
3 for Drew Holiday, 4 for Porzingis, 1 for DPOY, 1 for Tatum, 1 for Hauser, 1 for Cornette.
And imagine you get blocked by Hauser. That's when you pick up the Chinese for dummies.
Tough. That's tough. And the best part is about this defense is Cornette can play it too. Like, if the defense is just hands up in the paint, be a tree, Cornette can be a tree. For all of his faults, for all the people that don't like him, he's a damn good tree. But Porzingis was awesome. Literally every time a Knicks player tried to drive into the paint, they got lost. Like, it's like they get in there, they look up, and their eyes glaze over, and they're like, what the hell do we do now? Like, what are we supposed to do?
A lot of shots bouncing off the rim, hard off the backboard, uncomfortable looks. His presence is the definition of Intimidator Hall of Fame on 2K. When guys miss shots just because somebody is there, the badge, if you don't play the game, players in the game have these things called badges, which normal attributes ratings will not necessarily call for. So it's like a little ability they get. Porzingis has Intimidator Hall of Fame for sure. They looked lost. Great. They had no answer for him. They didn't want to go at him. Jalen Brunson wasn't that great inside tonight. Obviously, Randall sucked. Nobody was really successful in there. RJ Barrett had a couple nice makes, but besides that, everybody seemed to struggle to finish.
Yeah, I mean, defense was great. And then offensively, I tweeted this. He's going to lead the league in above the break threes because all the offense is going to be is Tatum, Brown, Drew, or Derek White run the pick and roll, have him fade out. The Knicks are either going to have to live with a one-on-one drive with one of those 4 guys, which the Celtics will take, or give up a 3-pointer. And Keith pointed this out. He's not stepping like, oh, let me get to the 3-point line. He's let me get 5 feet behind the 3-point line. So even if the Knicks do decide to help on that and switch out, you still can't get there in time because I'm 7'3" and I'm gonna make it. Like he was making fucking everything. Every single Porzingis presser up to this point, I'm juiced because I've been talking about this all summer. I've been talking about this all summer. I go, he's gonna change the way they play offense. He's gonna change the way they play offense. Literally. Every single time anybody asks Porzingis, he just goes, guys, I'm just so fucking open. And guess what? He was so fucking open. He was so fucking open. He was open on every play, and he made 5 of his 9 threes, 30 points. They booed him, and he goes, hey, guess what, MSG?
Electric. I wrote about this in the halftime hot takes, was Porzingis is an absolute dog. Now, this was a halftime, so I think he only had 15, 16 points by then. But he comes out, hostile environment, big game. And he dominates early. He was electric in the first quarter, couldn't be stopped, alley-oop, threes, had the heat check 3 off the glass. He was hitting all of it. He had a bunch of blocks. His ability to show up in a road game with a big feel to it is huge. This early in the season is the best sign you could possibly get from a new guy, that he may show up for you when it matters most. Now, I know in Dallas he wasn't the best in the playoffs and it led to an ugly exit, but here it's going to be different. It's not going to be him standing around. He's very much involved in these actions. He's getting open on the pick and pops. He's going to be the best safety valve anyone has ever seen. He could have probably had 35, 40 points tonight if they hit him a few extra times when he was open, because they didn't hit him every time.
Remember when I told you that one of the Celtics could win Defensive Player of the Year?
Yeah, we were wrong. We didn't know which one.
It might be KP. It might be KP.
Get ready for the NFL season with incredible offers from FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets. Guaranteed. That's guaranteed. Plus, all customers who bet $5 will get $100 off NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV. Now is the best time to join FanDuel. It absolutely is. The app is easy to use, and you can be on everything from spreads to player props and more. So visit FanDuel.com/Boston. Kick off the NFL season with an offer you won't want to miss. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
Or at least all defense.
He was awesome. All of my being wants the title of this podcast. Kristaps Porzingis says "fuck you" to MSG, but I don't want to swear in the title, so maybe we won't do that. But
Kristaps Porzingis releases balls at MSG. Kristaps Porzingis silences Knicks crowd. Kristaps Porzingis exterminates the rats.
This was the most points scored by a Celtic in their debut ever. Which is crazy considering how many Celtics have made a debut.
Scal was very pleased that he knew that stat. I said to my dad, who I was watching the game with, that is a fantastic stat, by the way. This is not me shitting on the stat, because he had an impressive debut. We just raved about him. He was efficient, 53%, 55% from 3, made 9 out of 10 from the line, like Jack already told you. But also the Celtics are not historically a team that was getting talent through free agency. They were more of draft the stars.
Are we sure that's debut? I think it's debut ever, though. I think it's rookies included. I think it's everything.
Well, what I'm saying is, as a rookie, you're usually not trotting out there to drop 30.
I guess. Yeah,
Larry
sure.
Bird,
Okay.
But awesome game. He had a clutch 3 too. He had the other one that he shot go halfway down and out. He almost made back-to-back to break the Knicks in half. It was awesome. And he made a couple of clutch free throws. I was so happy with what we saw from Porzingis. It was all effortless. It didn't feel like he was doing too much. He's a good movement guy off the ball. He does just about everything right, and his attitude is great because he's a rescue puppy. So you really cannot ask much more from this guy. The defensive impact he had was just exceptional. The 4 blocks will not tell you enough. Like we already talked about, the Knicks were petrified to be in the paint. Guys like Mitchell Robinson, Hartenstein, even Randall, we're getting the ball underneath the basket on offensive rebounds, the zillion offensive rebounds that they got. And because Porzingis was there, completely vertical, they could not do anything with it. Early in the game, Julius Randle threw the ball off the rim 3 or 4 times in the same possession, and it ended with the Celtics getting a rebound and it going over. The amount of chances they got at point blank and Porzingis was there to interrupt it was unbelievable. Now they just need to close these possessions out, and it'll be worlds better.
All right, let's go over the rest of the individual performances. Then we could talk about some team-wide things. Jason Tatum, fucking dog. 34 points, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. 13 of 22 from the field, 3 of 8 from deep. Did slow down as the game went on in the fourth quarter. I don't think he was amazing. 1 of 3 from the field, 0 of 1, but he got 6 points, 4 trips to the line, 3 rebounds, 2 assists in that fourth quarter too. So he did his thing to some degree, but he got off to a very, very hot start. 10 points in the first quarter, and in the second quarter had 9. Red hot. It looked like he was the best player on the planet in that first half. And then he slowed down a little bit. But I mean, it's hard to critique this performance too much. And the best part is he was like, it wasn't like he was just taking the step back threes. He did end up taking 8 of them, and some of them did go in, but 8 of his 22 shots being threes isn't a terrible ratio when we said probably 7 is the ideal number. And the rest of his looks, like, it wasn't like he was getting threes and layups. Like, he was working the post. He was working inside, which is really nice to see.
Yeah, I mean, I liked a lot of the decisions Jason Tatum made for the most part. There was a couple where he got inside, took his man, and was very aggressive, got himself at the free throw line. He wasn't just settling for threes, but I thought there were times where he did settle for threes that it was a terrible, terrible time for him to do that. Have I been lost?
No, you're here.
No.
Sorry, I was reading a text and I thought you were going to keep going. You pause a lot when you talk, so sometimes I assume.
I know I do. But I thought I lagged.
No, you're good. So, yeah, no, there were some ill-advised threes. He did have four turnovers, which led the team. I figured somebody would have more than that, but he was not bad. I think you're still here.
1 second.
Sam's Wi-Fi is still here. I'm not editing these out anymore. I've quit my edit Sam's lag out addiction. I'm just gonna talk and filibuster, as you guys who watch the channel must know by now. But
here we
Tatum was fine. He was solid. Welcome back. And it is what it is. Sam punched the desk. I'm just going to give an audio update for the listeners. Sam punched the desk so hard his camera went out. So as we wait for Sam to review, let us know what you thought of the season opener. Are we back? Is Sam back? Hello?
We're as back as we're going to fucking be.
Welcome back.
I
Hello,
fucking
sir.
hate this thing.
Yeah.
I hate it.
But the guy who I thought had more than his 2 turnovers, Jaylen Brown, 11 points, 4 of 11 from the field, 0 of 4 from deep, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, positive, second best plus minus on the team with 8, but not a very good game for Jaylen Brown. He looked kind of lost out there. He didn't look very comfortable in this new Celtics offense. It seemed like he was trying too hard to find his looks. He only took 11 shots, so when you look back at the box score, it's kind of like, okay, at least he stopped when he was, knew he didn't have it, but
yeah,
I mean, there were some stretches in there where you were just like, yeah, this is a real bad game. I forget when was it. I have it marked down.
Early in the fourth quarter. It was when he turned it over twice and then committed the foul in the 3. Luckily, Grimes missed the free throw after, but
it was late. It was 4:45 in the fourth, so
Yeah.
that was like crunch time, and he was bad.
I don't think he was like terrible overall because the stats don't really say that, but you're absolutely right. Like he was uncomfortable. And when he was bad like all at once. So he was like, I just want to make sure everyone remembers that I was bad. So I'm going to really overdo it. I respect that he did not take that many shots. I guess he took the 3rd most shots on the team. So he was still getting his looks, but from 3, he didn't continue to force the issue. He had some nice drives. He was okay at finishing in traffic tonight. He did have a questionable take on a fast break when there was literally no one with him and he went 2-on-1 or 1-on-2. Didn't love that. Yeah, I don't know. It was a whatever game. I hope he improves on Friday, though. You're going to need more out of Jaylen this season.
Yeah, I don't think this is
rough.
Yeah, no, this isn't a panic game, but it's a need to see him get more comfortable within the flow of the offense. The other thing is, I don't dislike the fact that Drew Holiday was guarding Julius Randle, but I dislike the fact that Jaylen Brown was guarding Emmanuel Quickley for a lot of the time. He's just not quick enough, and he's fast, but Emmanuel Quickley is fast. So I would rather just have Jaylen Brown be able to use his strength over his speed on a guy like Randall and his height, and then have Drew Holiday worry about Emmanuel Quickley. I feel like that would just make a little bit more sense overall, but that's just like a minute thing that probably
as far as that particular situation goes, I actually liked Holiday on Randall because it was the Celtics, and here's why. It was the Celtics taking advantage of the Randall is out of control thing, and they really, really made him pay for the nonsense, the fumbling around. I mean, Holiday had a pair of steals. I don't know if they were both on Randall, but he definitely made Randall uncomfortable. He was really rushing himself.
They might have counted as blocks, yeah.
Okay, blocks too. But
I know what you mean, though.
By putting Holiday on Randall, they made Randall really, really try and take advantage of a mismatch that wasn't really a mismatch. He was forcing the issue, fumbling around, looking like a bull in a china shop out there, and failing. And he was just like, mouse in the house, got to take him, must must go inside, must back him down, and it wasn't working. So it was a mental thing. It's almost like when Smart was on the team and people would like post him up and they'd be like mismatch, except there was just no action to get this switch to happen. They were just letting him pick up. So I thought it kind of ruled. But to your point, it doesn't mean that the Jaylen Brown guarding anybody else thing rules. He just wasn't good enough. Quickly caught fire. I don't know if anybody was stopping Quickly tonight.
Quickly was nasty.
Had a massive game.
He loves playing the Celtics, apparently.
Yeah, he was skipping around and stuff. I was like, I wish somebody would trip him.
Speaking of Drew Holiday, though, 9 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 blocks, 4 or 10 from the field, 1 of 5 from deep. Felt like he early on at least was pressing a little bit too to find his shot,
Sure.
find his rhythm. But he settled back in. He was great on defense. Shocker. I mean, it's Drew Holiday. And he was fine in his other spots. Derek White, 12 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 4 or 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from deep. I thought Derek White looked good. Honestly, I thought they could have gotten him more looks. I mean, he
might have been
getting
their
inside
third best
playing well.
player tonight, depending on how much you really want to weigh in Drew Holiday's defensive additions, because I think that was almost just as important. Like we just talked about, excellent. Picked up Randall, made him just overpress. But Derek White, 4 of 6, he picked his spots perfectly, and he had some big makes in this game. He was getting to the basket at timely moments when the Celtics looked like they were reeling, and he calmed everything down a little bit.
Yeah, he was shaky on defense to start the game. He was jumping a little bit too much. He fouled on that 3-point shot in the first quarter, but then he settled right down. He got back in on defense. He did a couple of his really cool contests from behind, got a block out of it, got a couple steals, and then he turned himself back into Derek White. So that was fun to watch as well. He's the third best plus minus on the team. Al Horford, 8 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists off the bench. 3 of 4 from the field, 2 of 3 from deep. One of those threes was just a giant, let me take my fucking shot, fuck you 3 in the corner, which was fun to see.
He had some brass balls makes in this game. Him and Derek White were the saviors in this game, despite the massive outbursts from Tatum and Porzingis.
Yeah.
They were some of the most clutch guys in this game. Not in that fourth quarter clutch moment, but when the game was looking like it might get out of hand, runs were on the way, and the Celtics really needed a response. Those were the guys that helped develop the response. Horford really punched back in mid-game in the third quarter, at the end of the second quarter, when things didn't look that great. Those two guys stepped up really big time and pumped the brakes on the Knicks' momentum, which was really great. And that was another thing that's a takeaway from this game for me, is I thought the Celtics looked like shit at times in this game. I was very upset. I did not like the way things were going.
Sure. Yeah.
We'll talk about some negatives in a minute. But they did respond like a big boy team. Even in the fourth quarter, when they went down 6 points, they got it together. Probably not something you see from last year's team. Now, it doesn't mean it was perfect. Doesn't mean this team's the best team in the world just yet. But they went down 6. They got very lucky that Grimes missed the free throw to go up 7, I felt. And they battled back. They got stops. They closed possession, something where they really weren't doing consistently all game. And they managed to scrape up the win like a really good team would do. In a hostile environment, crowd was juiced. Great job by the Celtics in the clutch. I love to tear them a new one anytime they screw up, and they didn't. So you got to give them credit.
Those last 3 minutes of the game, ready? I'm going to read it out here. Last 3 minutes, Brunson makes a 3 with 3:39 left. Knicks up by 6. Okay. Holiday gets a layup with 3:13 left. The last 3 minutes.
Which was a great cut.
Yeah, great pass by Tatum, too. I didn't even see it. Last 3 minutes, Randall miss, Grimes miss, Barrett miss, Brunson miss, Barrett miss. Randall makes 1 out of 2 free throws, quickly miss. Hartenstein gets a putback, and then miss. Like they allowed 1 field goal and 1 free throw make in the last 3 minutes of the game.
Rebounds does it say? I don't know. I just want to know if they really. Well, the Hartenstein one was an offensive rebound, so at least 1.
Yeah, I'm counting on my own. Where can I see this?
I just want to see if they really bogged down, got in it, and said, we are not messing around anymore. If there was a mentality shift or just a luck shift.
I think Brunson was the only offensive. There were 2. In the second one was the last one was like the last possession of the game when quickly like scrambled and the ball was like out by the so only 1 like true offensive rebound, and it was the Hartenstein. And then the Celtics, I mean, the last 3 minutes, their shot profile was Holiday got that block, Brown got a rebound, Porzingis hit 2 of 2 free throws. The tech on Porzingis with 2 minutes left was whatever. Then Porzingis made his 2 free throws. Tatum made a 3-point shot. Porzingis missed 1, and then Tatum turned the ball over after a big rebound by Drew Holiday. And then 2 free throws for Porzingis, and then 2 free throws. Like they didn't even make a lot of shots. They just played good defense, picked their spots, drew fouls, and got to the line. Like they hit like
that's the important
it like a big boy team. Yeah, which was
they
great.
Controlled what they were able to control. They didn't let the Knicks take over the game like they had throughout the whole quarter, throughout stretches in the second and third quarters when things went bad. It was because the Knicks put their own identity, their own stamp on the game. The fourth quarter was just, or the crunch time rather, was more of a situation. The Celtics said, okay, we have the Avengers. We're going to play like it. We're going to we're going to press, we're going to box out, we're going to make sure we hit the glass after we get these stops. And it was awesome. I'm so proud of them for doing that, even though I'm pissed that it even got to that point. This game truthfully felt like a game that they should have been up 15 for the majority of it. Not to say in the NBA momentum does not swing, but just the way that the Knicks were so inefficient. They were missing a ton of shots. Like, just the way they were getting their points was so like lunch pail hard work. And it felt like the Celtics were just letting it happen at times.
I'll say this. I think the defense was elite. They played really good defense, minus the offensive rebounding by the Knicks. Like, that is part of defense. You got to be better there. And then I thought the perimeter defense at times was a little like too sporadic, almost like all those threes. Like, the Knicks did just shoot well from three. It is what it is, but you can be a little better there. But overall, you see the framework of the best defense in the NBA potentially. I think the problem was the offense, because how many assists did they have? They had. Let me take a look here. Sorry, to pull it up.
They had made 18, not a lot.
On 37 field goals. Like, that's not very good. And only 12 threes. They shot under 43s. I'm sorry. Like, and I know you are probably big on that. That's not how they should be playing basketball. And the reason is not because take more threes for the sake of taking threes. The reason they shot so few threes is because this was just an isolation heavy game. Jason Tatum got the ball. He maybe ran pick and roll and then took a shot. Or excuse me, kicked it to somebody and they took a shot. There was no.
Well, they also shot 20 less shots than the Knicks.
Well, because the offensive rebounds, because the Knicks did miss a lot of shots inside. Like, I don't know if that's indicative of
like they shot 39 threes, but they did only take 77 shots. So over half or just about half their shots were threes. You know, like, I don't know what the normal percentage is, but it still felt like they were getting a lot of threes, and some of them felt bad. Like, I did not like a lot of the Hauser threes. There were a couple that it was in the flow of the offense, but there were a couple it was just like, okay, I have the ball, I'm firing, which is indicative of them saying, you have the green light. The only thing you're really here to do is shoot, so you have to do it, and I get that. But there were times I was just like, well, move the ball. Maybe you can get a better look for yourself other than just like instantly firing it up. I didn't like Hauser tonight. I was very unimpressed. I was like, does he really need to be shooting all these shots? All four of them?
Sure. I know what you're saying, but I just think the number of
I think you're right,
shots. Yeah,
I do think you're right.
There wasn't enough ball movement is my main point.
That's kind of what I was saying. Like, the Hauser stuff, I was like, well, maybe you should have moved the ball before we settled on a three. Like, there was one that offensive rebound went super long, and he just like was like, my turn.
Yeah, Hauser took
Hauser time.
He took some quick ones, but I feel like that's part of what he should do. Honestly, like, for Hauser, it's get in the game, take a couple threes. If you don't have it, you play 13 minutes like he did tonight. And if you do have it, maybe you play 20. My bigger problem was with Jaylen Brown getting the ball, and there were a couple passes he just fucking missed. Like, Tatum open at the top.
Yes.
Of the key. Guys are like, those were rough. Even Drew Holiday, like, all right, let me call Drew Holiday's number. I'll take a three. Tatum at times did the same thing. And Porzingis too, like dribbling in the corner. Like, there just wasn't nearly enough ball movement with this team. But like, you should have way more than 18 assists. The Knicks had 24 and they made 36 shots. You had 18, you made 37. I want to see the ball move a little bit more. So I think that's the dichotomy with the offense defense. But overall, like,
possessions where we were like, did you see that ball movement?
I don't think there was one, and it was, I wrote it down. It was 7:30 in the fourth quarter. I said, this is the ball movement, but they missed the shot. They missed the fucking shot. I wonder if I can find it to see, a Jack knows ball situation.
Well, there was one possession there where they had a couple of really good looks. It was I think it was a Hauser three first, and it was a good look, and then it was a Pritchard three on the rebound, and it was just like, damn, they just didn't fall, but they were good looks. Like, there was nothing wrong with the shots they took. I thought they were just like untimely chucks in this game, and it was frustrating.
Well, and we're gonna have to bring out the copyright wall for this, but
I'll
mark it in the podcast just so I know where to do it. But this is the possession that I marked down, and watch it be a terrible possession. I'm just like an idiot and like I marked down the wrong thing. This is a possession that I saw that I was like, okay, that's
Tatum. Just dribble, step to your right.
So they get Porzingis in there. Porzingis makes a nice pass across.
Maybe not a nice pass.
Little scramble there, but drive and kick. They find Holiday in the corner. He rotates. He brings the three, but like, you can see it. This was the flop. It was the flop possession.
There he goes.
But yeah, Porzingis, he has the right idea of like finding somebody on the weak side, getting the ball over there. It wasn't perfect, but then they made it work, and then they scrambled and they moved the ball well enough. Like, that's a Celtic possession. A lot of it was just dribble, shoot, dribble, pick and roll, shoot. Like,
I mean, to start the fourth quarter, Celtics have come off an excellent close to the third quarter. Things were really dicey in the third. I think the Knicks had tied it or got within 2, and then the Celtics ripped off a run, closed the quarter like champs. Pritchard makes did he make a shot at the end of the quarter, or somebody scored? Oh no, it was Porzingis. He had a putback at the end of the quarter.
Yeah.
And then they come out, get ball back in the fourth because they won the tip, and Tatum's like dribble, air ball. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. That's the shot you go with? Like, this is a moment where you have a chance to step on their throat, and that's what you go with, the lazy shot. Those are the moments in the game where they need to realize the magnitude of the opportunity that they have and just work. It doesn't mean don't end up with a 3. It just means don't dribble, shoot a 3 with 15-ish seconds left on the shot clock. Even when they go in, I'm like, no, yes. Like,
this
it's
feels like
never exciting.
This feels like a conversation we had a lot of times last season.
It is. It's like an ongoing conversation, but like we're on the same page. I'm not like never shoot 3s. I'm just like, just take good ones.
Shoot the right
or
one.
Create better ones.
I agree. So takeaways from this game: offense, move the ball more. Defense could be fucking crazy. And then let's do this annoyance rankings quick. I'll read you mine. Sure, you can tell me if you have anybody else. Number 1 annoyance ranking: Hartenstein, the most annoying. And this is a complimentary annoyance.
He was
complimentary annoyance because he was great, but annoying. 2 could have been 1 quickly. Like, fuck, that dude's so.
He just made every 3
he was nasty
when it was important.
He was nasty, and the floaters. And then 3, I had Grimes because it felt like he just made the 3s when it was the least, good for the Celtics. He just made 3s at the worst times, and it was really irritating. And he
because they just didn't miss it.
It's true.
I don't really think there's many other guys. I thought RJ Barrett had some annoying, like,
he was good,
where it was just like, damn, like he probably shouldn't have made that, or that was like a unnecessarily good drive. Randall played like shit. Brunson did not play good. Like, those guys don't qualify. Any other guys? DiVincenzo,
Mitchell Robinson,
a lot.
Maybe Robinson on the offensive glass at times, but
I don't think so. I think you nailed it.
Okay, good for me. Look at me go. Yeah, offense, ball movement. Let us get into the emails. I'm losing the timestamp. Okay, I was like in 30 different tabs at once.
40 minutes.
Let's check in with the emails. Yeah, 40 minutes on that one game. Hopefully you guys.
Well, there's some lag.
Yeah, it's that's only lag was like 3-5 minutes. Let's start with the most recent email and then go back to the most, the older ones. Because RJ sent us this after the game tonight. So shout out RJ. Truly the new look Celtics. They won a tight game at the end. Not used to seeing that. True. Evening, guys. Hell of a start. Lots of reasons to see should a loss of a championship teams figure out ways to win when they kind of suck. And that's what Boston did tonight. I'll close out with what my mom said and with what my mom and I would say when Bird would nail the winner at the buzzer. Never any doubt. Sam, only 81 more to go for your target.
That's right.
Be well, RJ.
Good start.
That's a really good point. It's a good point, though. Championship teams figure out a way to win, and they did figure out a way to win.
Well, that was the main point from, I think, our chat. It was like, damn, like last year they would not have won. They would have went down in the fourth, and that really would have been it. Maybe they would have given you like a false hope push, but besides that, you wouldn't have got a whole lot. Tonight, I was very impressed. They buckled down on defense, and they finished out those possessions, and they won. And they won it on the defensive end, which is what you said. And that's what I always am like, please just control what you can control.
104 points.
They go. If they don't, they don't.
They gave up 104 points, and the Knicks shot, I have to get the number here, 44% from 3. That's a damn good defensive game.
It's because they shot like 35% from the field. It was
that's my
game.
Point. Yeah. That's my point. The Celtics defense was great. Imagine if they played a little bit better on their perimeter and had their offense. This could have been a 20-point blowout. But we can say that for every game. Anyways, let's go back to the early email. This is from a day ago from Philip. The psychology of prediction. Hey, fellas, it has been a week since I wrote, but I blame that on your thorough content. I feel like you guys have grown your skill all summer. The legend grows. We appreciate it.
Sure have. Like, we can talk about it. We can like play patty cake and be like, did you see that?
That's a daily video for next offseason. We play patty cake for 10 minutes. So, a tic-tac-toe. So I teach consumer behavior research and decision-making at a state university. This is one of those times a year where my expertise overlaps with basketball as the media and fans predict a season. The theory of distal and proximal goals suggests when we view a distant or goal distal. We engage in idealistic thinking. We are optimistic and see possibilities. However, when we actually get close to the goal or decision proximal, we start to get realistic, focus on details, and think practically. Example is when juniors and seniors in college are asked what they will do when they graduate, and juniors talk about getting their dream job, getting married, and moving. Seniors talk about things like getting their apartment deposit back, selling their books, and remembering gas to get gas before leaving town. This explains why everyone is so unrealistic about team changes and championship possibilities during the offseason, because the season is still in the future. Right now, it's all an open sky, first-time All-Stars, and high win totals. Watch as the season starts and this perspective rapidly changes due into a rude awakening when fans and media realize that their expectations are unrealistic. The talk will shift to deciding whether or not to tank, if the coach needs to be fired, or whether a team should be blown up. It's a predictable, beautiful cycle. Do you think you guys also follow this pattern when evaluating future/current seasons? All the best, Phil. P.S. If you ever want to know why fans, media, players follow a psychological trend, ask on the pod, and I will do my best to give an academic perspective.
Ooh, all right.
I think we definitely do this. The perfect example, Jeff Clark, Celtics blog, put it in the chat. We spent the past 2 weeks writing about Nemish Keita, Lamar Stevens, O'Shea Brissett, and Delano Banton, and literally
Nobody
none
played.
of them played in this
but
one.
that's
So,
what we have to do is people that are in it, right? Like Jack and I's job, and the other writers on the blog, we have to come up with content. Like that's what it's about.
Yeah.
That's what we're given in preseason. That's what we don't know about, so people are curious about it. This is why the summer league videos we did so well.
mhm.
I think we lean away from that pattern, in particular with the Celtics, because I think the two of us are pretty knowledgeable. Like humbly, I do. Like I think like we have an idea of what we're talking about. As much as I joke that they should win every game, I do think like our expectations are somewhat realistic. Like I think we've been pretty on the nose like over the last couple of years.
If I could find it easily, which I can't and I won't, but I would go back and clip in we got to be the biggest idiots on the fucking internet.
Yeah,
2 pods ago.
we do, but I think we fall into it more when we talk about, and me in particular, talk about other teams. Like we talk about, for example, the Western Conference. We did those predictions, and like Jack and I's predictions were so different. Jack's are probably going to be more close to mine just because I don't really pay as much of attention. But like I think I have like okay thoughts. But
I see what you mean. Excuse me, this makes sense. Like the further
there's so
you're
many
out
teams
from
you don't know what
something,
to do with.
it's just hope dwindles the closer you get to reality.
Oh yeah,
I think that's just what it is.
I'm watching the Mavs right now. I'm like,
me too.
I might have been right.
If you ever want to know why fans, I'm trying to think of a psychological trend that fans or media members or other people can follow that we can ask them. I'll think. Maybe we'll ask them the next pod.
The cycle of we're back, we're so back, it's over, it's so over, and just one game. I went through it today.
You know what I'm curious about? I'm curious about players, how they like, and I don't know how you would think about this from an academic perspective. You'd have to like think about the players. Like, how do players like wrap their head around like those ups and downs, like the hope, like, because they just have to keep playing, right? Like they have no choice but to keep trying to strive to win. I heard Evan Turner talk about it, excuse me, on the JJ Redick pod, and he was like, yeah, when we were tanking, I like just went home and cried because I wanted to win, and like that's what I'm and they didn't want to, so like I wasn't getting minutes. Like he was like, yeah, I literally asked if I should go play overseas instead because like what was the point? So that part's curious to me, but thank you Philip. I think that's a good point. All right, RJ, my picks for the coming season, all the way to the finals. All the way to the finals. Morning, gents. I haven't had a chance to look in on all of the bad and boring City Edition jerseys this year. I swear to red if they did half of them on the World Perfect circa 18-7. But I'll fetch about them soon. But I did have my list of picks this season, a convenient Google form sheet. The theme here is consistency pays off. Young and tall is better than old and short, and I hate the Lakers. A note from my pick on Philly. Slotting them as fourth best in the East is kind of a median spot. They can finish second best. They can finish 11th. It's all a crap.
Fair.
Let's take a look. I'll share this tab and set. Okay, let's see what RJ predicts. Boston, Cleveland, Milwaukee, Philly, New York, Miami, Atlanta, Orlando, Indiana, Brooklyn, Detroit, Chicago, Toronto, Charlotte, Washington. He's in on Detroit like you, Sam. There is that. Cleveland above Milwaukee, I guess, makes a little sense if you think they'll be a really good regular season team, which they could be. But this is, I think, the same top 6, the same 7 through 10 as us, and then the same bottom. So there is that. Out west, Denver, Phoenix, Minnesota at 3, Golden State, OKC, New Orleans, Clippers, Sacramento, Utah, Dallas, Memphis, Lakers, San Antonio.
You might be right
Portland,
after yesterday.
Dallas, Memphis, and the Lakers all missing the play-in would
No,
be.
Dallas would be in.
Oh yeah, sorry, I looked at 11, but it's off because West. Memphis and LA missing the play-in is aggressive. Minnesota at 3. I don't know
The
about
West's a
that, but
crapshoot. It
it
is.
is.
It's a shit show out there. Glad I'm not involved.
That could get wild. First round going through here. OKC making the finals is nuts, but I mean, I respect the boldness. That's certainly fun. And then Boston beating OKC in 5 games.
RJ, did you just put your sim into 2K? Because that 2K will tell you is OKC is the best team ever. Them in Cleveland.
Yeah, I agree. Here, my quick takes on the Nike money grab. Why should we care when Nike doesn't? I swear this year's City Edition uniforms are some of the laziest takes I've seen in ages. And borrow from an Edna Mode in The Incredibles. No black. Next year, the jersey body has to be one of the primary colors of the team that isn't fucking black. He said it in a nicer word. Anyways, here's a link to all my crankiness. Crankiness. Oh man, I don't know if we can go through all this. I'm just gonna skim for funny ones. Or short descriptions. Everyone's airport signage. Kings goal. It's a soccer jersey.
I think the Kings had the best one though.
I think it was fine. This year, no black. Yeah. Okay. I'll read these on my own. I don't know if we want to dive into all of those for this because we're got a few more emails and a lot of stuff left. In honor of this year's City Edition jersey.
I saw this.
I haven't looked. Evening, guys. As your awesome podcast keeps growing in popularity, I think it's only fitting that HBTC joins the ranks of teams offering awesome steaming piles of alternate logo merch. So while I'm not ready to compete with Pete Rogers and Ben Artine, I believe I've captured the spirit and quality of the interns at Nike. Hope you like it, even if only to ratless the hell out of the font mix. Be well.
New logo just dropped.
How about them Celtics with Library Jack and Spider Sam? Shitty edition title card.
Forgot the hyphen.
This is incredible. Wow. This is fucking awesome. Say that. Wow, that's awesome. Thank you, RJ.
That's great.
And then,
thanks, RJ.
Man, last one. Late line on interesting prop bets. Morning, guys. For bettors in the podcast audience here are some offbeat proposition bets they can get it on. Over under on when does Coach Missoula call his first time out? Number of 3-pointers attempted team. 3-pointers attempted Pritchard. 3-pointers attempted Pritchard from the parking lot. Quarter that Coach Tibbs spontaneously combusts. He did get mad a couple times. Number of seconds into the game. Knicks Twitter complains about the refs. True. First time Doc says, fuck Nike. Those Knicks uniforms are stupid. I'm not sure if all those are all around FanDuel, but happy tip off. Thank you, RJ. We appreciate you as always.
Thanks, RJ.
Tuning in. All right, let's dive into some NBA stuff. And we'll start with the 76ers telling James Harden. It did change.
Oh, for me, it's still the green one, but the bottom is red. Oh, there it goes.
How about now? I'll flip it a couple times. We'll start with the 76ers telling James Harden to go home. James Harden was dealing with personal issues. I think there was a report that he was taking care of his mom.
Yeah, his mom.
It is whatever you
want to believe it, but at the same time, you're like, it's like the boy that cried wolf. You know what I'm saying?
Whatever you want to make of that part of it. He tried to return to the team today as we're recording this. And the 76ers, he tried, got packed all his stuff, got ready to get on the team plane. And then the 76ers said, go home. See you later.
They said, hey, buddy, you're just blowing from stupid town. You think you're just going to come back after just not showing up all preseason? I have a tremendous amount of respect for Daryl Morey. He plays hardball, dude. He's awesome.
Yeah, man.
He bullied Ben Simmons. He's not taking Harden shit. This is excellent from Daryl Morey. I don't know if he's directly the one that said don't come back and don't get on the team plane, but absolutely hysterical move by the Sixers. Great job.
Yeah, and he went back to Camden, which is where their practice facility is, and now Woj reporting the Clippers are pausing or stepping back from Harden trade talks. So Philly's just kind of stuck with this mess, which is entertaining to say the least. It's kind of fun to watch.
I just can't believe the mental disconnect from him, where I understand there's a very personal aspect to this where you want the money, right? I want money. Sure. But you think you would eventually be nobody wants to trade for me. Why not? I'm nasty. And, he probably does hold himself in very high regard. Like, I
He's a
thought
good
to
player.
myself tonight,
He
the
had a good
amount
year
of
last year.
self-control it would take for me if I was that good at basketball not to just want every shot thinking I could make it.
True. Yeah.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, they told him to go home. We'll see what happens. Not really sure how the whole thing's going to play
Go
out.
home, James. Just go home.
Yeah. The Phoenix Suns lost the second-round draft pick in 2024 because they tampered to get Drew Eubanks. I saw somebody tweet losing a second-round pick for Drew Eubanks is crazy.
Took the words
Drew
out of my
Eubanks,
mouth.
though, he did play really well in their season opener against the Warriors. Like I don't know his exact stat line, but I know he got a couple blocks, a couple good contests at the rim. He's a solid player. He ended the game with 4 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks. So maybe you do trade the second round pick. I mean, he had a great night. But yeah, that's tampering for Drew Eubanks and losing a second, especially when you have like no draft picks.
Yeah, they have literally no draft picks. It would be kind of funny if they just wind up with no draft pick at all. Like they had no draft picks and they were like, well, we got to punish them. What are we going to do?
They just take away Drew Eubanks. They're like, sorry, you guys don't get Drew Eubanks anymore. Yeah. I saw Tyler Rucker though tweet out. He said they need to find a new way of punishing teams because this doesn't punish the teams. This punishes the player they would have drafted, which is true. It just takes away an opportunity from somebody. But next thing we have, De'Aaron Fox has signed with Curry Brand.
Kind of weird.
Like, it is kind of weird, but like cool for Curry. That's my takeaway. That Curry is now building his own like Jordan Brand-esque thing, and if he can get other players to sign, like cool. It is weird though that De'Aaron Fox is signed to like if this had come after Curry retired, I think that'd be cool. But the fact
it's weird
Curry's
when you're
still
an
in the
active
league,
player,
especially when the active player just like beat you,
eliminated you. Yeah, kind of weird.
Certainly,
not gonna lie to you, this is a me thing. Let's just say the Celtics had somebody sign like to LeBron's signature shoe brand. I'd be mad as hell.
Sure.
And I think a lot of fans would be. I don't think it would just be me. I'd be like, what are we doing here? Like this is
like
weird.
signing to Under Armour is one thing, but signing to Curry is a bit odd.
There was one team, I want to say the Pistons. So this year, Nike, Jordan made up these long sleeves for every single team. They have the same design. It's the Jordan logo. And it has the team's name underneath on the middle of the shirt, and that's it. That's the only design. And Pistons fans were like, fuck this. Because Jordan was like their biggest rival back in the day. Like, we don't want
it was Utah. It was Utah.
Oh, it was Utah. That's who it was.
Yes. Yeah.
And they were like, fuck this. We don't want him on our shirt.
Well, because the logo is over. It was against Utah that happened. They were selling a giant Jordan shirt with a Utah logo. And like,
that's a dunk contest. That's what the Jumpman's from.
No, there was something. One sec.
I'm sure there's context, but that rules.
Yeah. The fans got it. Like the Jazz stopped selling the shirt. In their
respect.
shop.
That's awesome.
Yeah, Utah faced the Bulls in the finals in 97 and 98, and they said, "Yeah, no, we don't want that shit."
Yeah, we don't need that. I'd be mad as hell if the Celtics had something with like LeBron's crown logo on it. Fuck that.
This isn't worth a full segment, but since we're talking about Fox and the Kings, Mike Brown said that if Malik Monk was 6'7", he'd be an All-NBA player, which I just thought was really funny, and I wanted to
probably
talk
say
about.
it for a lot of guys, though.
It's just still
Isaiah
funny
Thomas,
to say about
6'7".
All-NBA. He was All-NBA regardless.
MVP.
True. Anyways, let's take a look at some of the first games around the league. Just some big storylines. We don't have to spend too long on any of them. I don't know how much you've watched so far. I watched the opening night game. So I watched Lakers Nuggets and I watched some Suns Warriors before I fell asleep. Chris Paul looks really good with the Warriors. Like it kind of works. Like he kind of just fits in really well. And it was really surprising to watch because I mean, hindsight's 2020, but like Curry can just play off the ball. And like, yeah. And so it just kind of worked. Like Chris Paul had a ton of assists. Curry did his thing. That was fun.
I'm interested to see how that will work when they have Draymond too, because it feels like Chris Paul and Draymond will play a very similar role.
Well,
it's kind of funny because those guys don't like each other, so there's going to be a little bit of whose spots are going to be.
I think the difference is though with Poole and Draymond, they didn't like each other, but Poole was like immature still, which I mean,
like shit, kid.
But like Paul and Draymond are old enough and respect enough. Like they respect each other, I think, at the very least.
That's not what I'm saying though. What I'm saying is like Poole and Draymond were not taking on the same role. Poole was trying to take on a similar role to Steph Curry, where he was moving off the ball. He did try and dribble a lot and create too.
I don't know. figure it out. I think there's something from Mark Spears that said the Chris Paul off the bench idea is gaining steam. So I think they'll find that.
I saw that.
So this should be fine. Nuggets are just still gross. And I know the Lakers didn't look good, but the Nuggets, I was watching the game on playback with First to the Floor. It looked like the Nuggets stopped trying in the second quarter, let the Lakers come back into it, said,
sounds like another team I know.
No, but then they said, okay, we kind of need to win this game again. And then they just murdered the Lakers again. Like Jokic is the best player I was about to say I've ever seen with my two eyes, but maybe that's a bit too far. He controls the game like anybody else, like better than anybody else I've ever seen. Like he's fucking ridiculous. Aaron Gordon's nasty. Jamal Murray does whatever he wants. KCP was good. Their young guys look fine. And then D'Lo just kind of stinks. Like he's just not very good. And he was the only one with like a positive plus minus on the team, but he just wasn't very good. There was a video going around of him talking to LeBron, and LeBron being like, yo, you get the ball at the top of the key. I'm open on the elbow. Pass it to me. It's not even for my shot. Like, I just see the floor. And then it cuts to a clip like the next possession of him dribble, just shooting a three instead of passing to LeBron on the elbow. It's just like, what are we doing?
D'Angelo Russell has had like a really weird, like up and down career. He was bad with it.
Yeah.
Just maybe he shouldn't play for the Lakers.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, he's not good with the Lakers the first time. Goes to Brooklyn, leads Brooklyn to an impressive playoff berth, and like that's a very likable, fun team.
I said this on playback. He just needs to go back to Brooklyn. Like he'd probably fit in with that team right now.
Probably would. Sure. Yeah, because nobody expects anything out of them. Like the Lakers is a weird spot. He's expected to play off the ball. It doesn't seem like something he's going to be very good at. Glad the Lakers lost. This was an awesome just storyline going into the game. So like, of course, these two teams left. Oh my God, Sam. Met in the Western Conference Finals last year.
Yikes.
And the Lakers got swept. And over the summer, they've gone back and forth, like talking shit to each other. Mike Malone kind of like was jabbing at them after the Nuggets made the finals, and then obviously they went on to win it. But he was not very happy that all of the talk was about the Lakers after the Nuggets moved on. That was his angle, right? Because, everyone remembers LeBron was like, hey, might retire. Don't talk about me getting swept. I might retire. Yeah. And then everybody starts talking about that, and nobody's talking about the Nuggets. And Mike Malone's like, well, we're here. The Lakers aren't here, so let's stop talking about them. And then, like, more and more is developed. The Lakers, throughout their training camp, media day, a lot of talk about the Nuggets. A lot of, oh, we heard them. We're going to be ready. And then the Nuggets crowd yesterday just, who's your daddy to the Lakers? Just laying into them. There's a clip of Jamal Murray at the scorer's table. I don't know if you got to see this.
Yeah,
and he's like taking it in. He's like, he goes to Mike Malone. He's like, "This is your fault. This is your fault. This is all you." And Malone like comes over laughing. Mike Malone is fire
because that was the thing in the playoffs last year too. The Who's Your Daddy?
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
how much I watch.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to find the context now because I thought you were gonna bring it up, but
I don't know the context. I just knew it was from yesterday. But good job.
No.
No. Mike Malone, the reporter. It was not Mike Malone at the parade. Said he's the Lakers' daddy. Mike Malone.
And he wore a shirt that said, "Who's your daddy?" at the parade.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Electric.
Oh, let me find it. I gotta find it now. Shoot. Malone.
Michael Malone.
I'm just gonna search Malone Daddy Parade and
okay.
Fucking
good luck. Don't click any links you don't recognize.
Yeah, no. Oh, sorry, no. He said you put that in your pipe and smoke it. We're gonna go up 2-0, and that's the shirt he wore at the parade. But yeah, the Lakers daddy comment at the parade was a thing too. I don't know. It's just the Nuggets are fire. Like if I wasn't a Celtics fan, like they're easy to root for. You know what I'm saying? Like they're fun. And I mean,
I'm pro Nuggets, man. You keep beating the Lakers, I'll root for you.
Sure. Why not? Why not?
Just humiliating them after all the trash talk. All right, we're done.
LeBron is going to be held to 28 to 30 minutes a night, but it was weird because like he came out after the game and he's like, "Yeah, I don't really know. I'll do whatever it takes to win," but. So it like feels like they're not on the same page almost, which is like odd.
Does it sound like he wants to play more minutes, or does it sound like he wants to play less?
More.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame him. He's played his whole career as the best guy on the team, and he has to do everything a lot of the time. I mean, there's some teams he straight up dragged far into the postseason. It's got to be weird for him having to take like a smaller, less strenuous role, but like also. Yeah, dude, it's your 21st season in the league. They're trying to make sure you're healthy when the playoffs roll around. The league just put in this load management rule, which kind of doesn't apply to him because he's old. But still, like they want him to be healthy when these games matter. Like they don't care about this October 24th game against the Denver Nuggets. Like, they care about the May, April, June game against the Denver Nuggets.
Agree. Also, backtracking on Warriors Suns quick, Dario Saric looked really good. That's just very random, but something I was watching during them game. I'm like, damn, this guy's like
Former
really
lottery
good.
pick, Dario Saric.
Was he?
Yeah.
Oh man, good
He was
pull.
like
I didn't know that.
13, 11.
12. Wow,
12,
he really
nice.
split the difference there. OKC murdered the Bulls. As we're recording, or tonight as we're recording this, Shea had 31 points, 5 rebounds, 10 assists, and 2 blocks and a steal. He just fucking,
no way.
He's just fucking.
So I had somebody hit me up today, and they were like, "What do you think? SGA double-double?" I was like, "I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to tell you."
He did it.
He was like, "Well, yeah, you're probably right. Like, you only averaged like 5 assists last year."
Let's play very quick game of match the stat line to the Bull. 16 points, 4 of 16, 2 of 9. Sam, who was it?
Zach LaVine.
It was Zach LaVine.
It's almost like he's bad.
Well, I thought I'd throw you a bone. Nets, Cavs was a very close game. Came down to the final couple shots. It was good ending. Donovan Mitchell, clutch player of the year. My pick looks good. He had a big 3 at the end there. Whatever you want to call the Cam Johnson thing, is whatever. Cam Thomas popped off the bench, 36 points. Ben Simmons actually did stuff like 10 rebounds, 9 assists for him is good in those times, but he was a minus.
He's Draymond.
Yeah, which is good. That's what you kind of want him to be. Max Strus, 27 points, 12 rebounds, 9 of 17, 3 of 13, or 7 of 13 from 3. Kind of doing exactly what they wanted him to. He played almost 39 minutes, was a team high. That's kind of, that's crazy. Good for him. I mean, that's why they signed him. So he did his thing. What else do we got? Just going through the game. Kings beat the Jazz. Harrison Barnes had 33. So there's your game. Miami almost lost to Detroit, but they pulled it out 103-102. Sar Thompson had 5 blocks. Cade Cunningham had 30 points, 9 assists. He looked good. They rolled out a weird lineup. They started Cade, Killian Hayes, Asar Thompson, Isaiah Stewart, Jalen Duren.
They started 3-point guards and 2 centers.
Effectively. Yeah, pretty much. So that was kind of weird. Marcus Sasser got some run. That was a Celtics guy we liked. He played well. 8 points, 3 of 4, 2 of 3. Duncan Robinson is back, 6 of 10, 3 of 5 off the bench. Jaime Jaquez got some run, made all his shots. He was fine. Bam did his thing. Caleb played. Jimmy, like, that's fine. I don't want to go too in depth with some of these. I just want to recap. Toronto beat the Timberwolves. There's that. I'm just trying to look for interesting stat lines. Anthony Edwards got 14 rebounds. Gobert had 13. Karl Anthony Towns had 10, and Kyle Anderson had 9 off the bench. They had 62 rebounds in this game.
Nobody else had a single rebound.
No, the Timberwolves had 62 rebounds and lost the game because they shot 34% for the field and 26% from deep. They took 100 shots. And they fucking lost.
That's impressive stuff.
That's crazy. Schroeder killed them, 22-7. So there you go. Jesus, man. And Scotty was mid, 6 of 16. Tough. Looking across, Pacers dropped 143 on the Wizards.
Well, Wizards bad.
Wizards bad, but they also shot 52-47 splits. So the Pacers just fucking made everything.
They don't play defense. Who's playing defense for the Wizards? Koulibaly and who else?
It's true. Halliburton had 20 and 11 assists.
Nice.
Andrew Nembhard had 12 and 10 assists off the bench. So they were just fucking.
Good for him.
They finished the game with 38 assists. More assists than the Celtics had field goals. But that's
they had over double.
Hornets beat the Hawks. Hawks are potentially frauds, or maybe they are frauds. Mark Williams, it looks fucking. Did you see that block he had on Trae Young?
Yeah, the snatch
nasty. Nasty. He had 13 and 15 with 3 steals and a block. Everyone played well for them. Nothing of note, really. Trae Young was terrible. He's really bad. He shot 4 of 19 and 1 of 9 with 5 turnovers. But don't worry, he made 14 of his 15 free throws.
It's crazy.
And then past that, the Magic beat the Rockets by 30 points.
Nice. That's a good start for my Magic in the playoffs pick.
Yep, 116-86. Cole Anthony had 20 off the bench, fresh off his new extension, 8 rebounds as well. Franz Wagner 19. And then games going on now.
Fleet do.
Bad. 14
like
points.
He's not that great of a player.
5 of 13, 4 of 6, 5 assists. Not excuse me, not very good. It's almost
Rockets
like
fumbled that, man. Rockets could have had. I know the Harden thing really like kind of screwed them because they were banking on it. But man, like the Rockets were so exciting in June to me. I was like, they're ready to take a jump here, and they
could have started Amen Thompson. They could have started Jason Tate. Like they could have rolled out this fun young lineup instead.
Yes, exactly. They did not need to do that. At least he's not like super long term.
Dylan Brooks played well though, except he was a minus 15. Amen Thompson was a minus 34 in this game though, so maybe they should start.
Oh man, minus 34. Welcome
That's
to the
crazy,
league, buddy.
Games going on now that we won't get to see the result.
Dallas, San Antonio.
Close game. San Antonio up by 1, and then Portland is losing by 20 points to the Clippers at halftime. Rob, we'll do a Celtics check-in. Rob has 6 points, a block, 3 steals, and 3 rebounds at halftime coming off the bench, and Brogdon has 5 points.
How'd Marcus do today?
There's your check-in. Oh yeah, I didn't go. Where's the Grizzlies game on my?
They played somebody. They play Utah.
Great analysis by Sam here. Why am I not seeing it? It's like stuck in the middle, like where I can't see the top screen. I have it. They played the Pelicans. They lost 111-104. Marcus Smart had 17 points, 3 assists, 2 steals, 6-11 from the field, 2 of 6 from deep. So not a bad game. They
not
just
bad. Not a lot of
assists
assists though. Low for Marcus. Good for him though. Glad he
Grizzlies
had a good
are
game.
injured. Well, the Pelicans are also injured, so I don't know. Zion did play, by the way, so he played 31 minutes.
How many did he have?
23 points, 7 rebounds, 9 to 17 from the field. Good game.
Yeah, fishing game. Good start for my Pelicans playoff pick.
It's true. All right, let's go into the rat list and wrap up the show from there. There was your check-in around the league. We won't do that every time, but it's opening night, so we'll see. What you got, Sam? What do you got for rat list now?
Rat list, my tire. So yesterday, my back right tire perished. And I was driving. So luckily for me, I was not on the highway. I was on a local road. I was not far from my house. But yeah, not ideal. I was looking forward. Nothing. It just like kind of said, that's enough. That's
did you like finish driving home or did you like have to?
No, I pulled over and I changed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you.
That helped, but
okay. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
No,
I can't change a tire. Yeah, no. I can't fucking.
Yeah. He had me do it though, so I know now. But I would not. I would have been fucked, dude. Are you kidding me? Somebody's listening to this, like these fucking kids, dude.
Yeah, it's fine. Let them. Let them.
Yeah, I was bummed. I was like, oh, I was literally like so close to my destination too. I was like, damn.
Where were you going?
I was going home, but I stopped at Dunkin' first. I got my Nutty Pumpkin because I did a lot of work.
Nutty Pumpkin's fire.
Oh, it is fire, but I don't always have room for those extra calories from drinking. You know what I'm saying? You can't drink your calories. But anyways, that got taken care of today. I had to go get a set of 2 new tires in the back just to even it out. That's okay. It's probably over.
Tough though. I'll rat list my aunt's dog, Rocket. I don't condone animal abuse. Vehemently against it. If there were a free, you get to punt an animal.
Yeah.
That animal. Or punt him. He's just the worst. Doesn't listen, doesn't sit, doesn't, I'll be trying to open the door. He'll be jumping up and clawing me. He'll jump on you. He's an idiot. He tries to like fucking eat the treats before. So I'm dropping treats into his cage before I leave. He tries to eat them before I hit the ground. So they just go everywhere. He's just the worst. He doesn't listen. He's maybe the worst dog I've ever met in my life. And I hate him. And I have to let him out every day. And I just really wish I got
a dog
free
person
punch.
myself.
I love dogs. I love dogs. This dog sucks.
I like some of them.
While I'm here, also ratless Duke. It's not fair to ratless Duke. Duke, or maybe
is
it is.
He heavily influenced of medicine.
We need to drug him more because today I woke up and he was whining again, and he nudged the cage so much today that he like scabbed his own nose, like he cut his nose on the cage. Dude. So I feel bad. But we took his collar off and put a new one on. But it's like a rubber collar, and so somebody walked across while I was like the out front of our house while I was taking him out in the backyard today, and my other dog started barking. So Duke sprinted across, and the leash, like his rubber collar, snapped off his neck, and so I had to like drag him in by like his cone and take him inside because he can't be running on it. He's recovering from an ACL tear, and so he was an asshole for that. So
how did he tear his ACL?
I have no idea. We don't know. We just saw him start limping one day, and we took him to the vet, and they said, "Yeah, sorry, buddy." Get ready to learn
mess.
medical bills.
So today I was a member of the double-edged rat list. Now I'll start with a mini rat list as I was checking out at Bob's, which is where I was at today, at the Bob's store.
Sure.
Right? Bob's store. And the cashier asked me if I had a phone number with them, and then I said no. And then she asked if I'd like to open one, and I said no. And then she really made a strong pitch for me to like do it, and I was like, no. Like if I say no once,
Yeah.
you know what they say.
Was she like, well, you can
no.
get 10% off here and rewards and this and this?
Yes.
Okay.
It was like you can get $10 cash back for every 50 you spend. And I was like, well, I come here every 3 months, so no.
Yeah. I do wonder if she gets some bonus for how many signups she gets.
She must, because she was real. Yeah. Like she was not like however much money they make to work at Bob's interested. She was like, I get extra money interested. You know what I mean?
That's got to be it.
So anyways, the reason I was in Bob's is one, Bob's is a fine establishment. They usually have some pretty good stuff. But two, I am driving to get my new tires today, and I drive past the Bob's, and what do I see? I see store remodeling sale, 10 to 80% off, everything must go. So I said, I'll go in. Why not? Awesome. Now I go in. Near the front is all like, they have like Patriots, Celtics, they have all like the teams. And that's like all like 10%. But I go look. Then they have like the main brands like Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, like Under Armour, all those like kind of brands. That's all like 10% off. There's no really impressive discounts. But one thing about Bob's is they carry swimwear. And the reason why this is important is because Nike makes swimwear. So they make swimming shirts. And swimming shirts are the same material as any other athletic shirt you could get, but they mark them down way more. So I go over to that section of the store, and as I walk over there, I have my eyes drawn to like these basketball shirts. Like, holy shit. And then I realized they carry Overtime at this store. Are you familiar with Overtime?
No, but I know you
clothing
love it.
brand?
Like, from how much you like it, yes.
Yes, I love Overtime. They have great shorts. I love their stuff. They have Overtime at Bob's. And the markdown is 50%. It was awesome. Like,
how much do you get?
Oh, I spent $150. Not only was the stuff marked down 50% at Bob's, but Bob's base prices were half off what it is if you order online. So I essentially saved 75% today at Bob's. And I was standing there looking at the Overtime racks, and I was like having a stroke with excitement. Like I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh my God. Like I like limited myself. I was like, okay, we get like 2 of this.
So don't you wish you got the email so you get even more money off?
No, I don't. I didn't need any more money off. You essentially gave me the stuff for free. But Ratless, because I was like, I gotta get all this stuff. I didn't know what to do with myself, dude. I feel like I missed the bag. Like I could have got more. I could have got sweatpants. I could have got all this stuff.
Why don't you go back?
Maybe I'll go back. But I didn't want to spend too much money. Like how much is like an acceptable amount of money to spend impromptu? That's what I don't know.
I've spent a lot of money at Target like that before. It happens sometimes. Yeah, you get to the clothing section, you see a lot of stuff out for the fall.
Hoodies, some shorts. I was pumped.
I don't know if this is a rat list or maybe just a funny story, but I'm gonna tell it anyways. Are you familiar with Book It with Trent? He's like
Why does that sound familiar?
I'll show you his Twitter. He's a TikTok / Instagram / social media. Like this is his Twitter. For reference, I'll take Matt off the screen quick. This is his Twitter.
Okay.
He just makes bets and stuff, right?
Okay.
Makes bets, and he's famous because he is terrible at betting. Everyone fades him, and
Sounds
so
like
he
Big
was. He put something out there. He said, "Phillies fans, I need $500 from you if you want me to not bet the Phillies for Game 7 against the D-backs." And he goes, update. A Diamondbacks fan said they'd pay me $1,000 to bet on the Phillies. I'm betting on the Phillies. And then the Phillies fucking lost. And so a Diamondbacks fan, knowing that if he bet on the Phillies, the Diamondbacks would probably win based on that logic, paid him $1,000. And then the Diamondbacks, who were not like, they were the worst. Do you follow MLB at all?
They're the worst team to get in the playoffs, and they would not have gotten the playoffs if they had not expanded the playoffs.
Mm-hmm. And then now they're in the World Series against the Rangers, another team who should not be in the playoffs. So Just hilarious that somebody paid money for them to like fade him.
I mean, the Philly collapse was electric. I don't really root against Philly across all sports. I don't even really root against them in basketball because they're like the cute little harmless brother.
Yeah, but it's fun to see him lose. It is.
Yeah,
It just
it is fun to see him lose. And watching them collapse was kind of funny.
It was. Shout out the Diamondbacks too. I like an underdog. This Mavs Spurs game is really good. I assume you're watching.
Yeah, I'm watching it. I'm like looking off. Wemby just made a 3.
Oh my God, Derek Lively from the heavens.
Derek Lively. Oh, there
Looks
it is.
nasty.
Yeah, he is. He's had a pretty good debut. Is he better than Wemby?
Oh my God, Chetty
Asking.
Osman. All right, let's wrap this so we can watch the rest of the game in peace. Thank you all for tuning in to How About Them Celtics. Let us know what you think of the Celtics season opener. We'll be back every Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday with daily videos on the channel as well. Make sure to subscribe. We appreciate you. I'll let Sam take it out.
Hey, yes. Season's back. But make sure you subscribe to us because we're putting stuff out every day, no matter if the season is here or not. You can also hit the notification bell just in case anything breaks or there's live streams or anything else that we put on the channel. You'll get the update. You can follow us on I tried to combine them, Apple and Spotify. I was going to say Opify. If you want the audio platform podcast, they will be there.
Sam has a stroke on the
5-star review. Yeah, I'm tired, dude. And you can follow us on Playback. We were not there tonight because of the national broadcast restrictions, but we will be there next Monday as the Celtics take on the Wizards on the road. So we'll be there, hanging out, chatting it up. You can find us there. It's just the name of the podcast, exactly as you see it on the screen with the apostrophe instead of the A for about. You can also find us on socials at How About Them C's. It's Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook is just the name of the podcast. You can follow Jack on Twitter at JackSmoneyNBA. Check out his latest work on Lamar Stevens on Celtics blog. It was awesome. Talked to Lamar, talked to his former teammates, did a great job explaining the absolute dog that Lamar Stevens is. Make sure you check it out. He worked extremely hard on it. You can follow me at Sam LaFrance NBA. I wrote about bullshit at halftime. That's it for us. Bye.
Tic-tac-toe.